finish with kibbutz. That's the second type of vowels. Now we're going to go to unchangeable long, or actually changeable long. This will be slightly longer sounds. Changeable long. Comments. Comments. This is slightly longer sound than patach. If I'll say comments and patach, comments. It's slightly longer, not by much, but there is a certain distinction in the spoken language that will differentiate between the two.
How do you
What?
This is where the open accent
tell the difference, yeah, between comments and comments on
is this where
That's where that
Accented.
unaccented closed syllable comes into play, because in all the other cases that would be read as up. And we'll see it in the text, and actually sometimes they put a little thing right here by comment to make sure that you know it's closed syllable, and you know that it's supposed to be read by like all. Supposed to.
why did they just write it like that?
Huh?
Why did they just write this? Write it like
Because
that?
they were not perfect and they were not God. They made a lot of mistakes, and we can find some of those mistakes too.
Gee, that's no excuse.
Yeah. See, even I make mistakes sometimes.
No, you know you don't.
Even.
You just made Eric's night right there.
Yeah.
We're
Okay.
president.
That's it. Sere. Sere. When you pronounce it, this is slightly longer sound. Sere. Sego. Sere. Right? Eh? Eh. Sere. 2 dots. Okay? Holum. Holum. What kind of sound is it? Yes. Huh? Oh, holum. See, it's a dot raised above the letter, usually appears above the letter to the left, and is read after the consonant. It will be bo, not ob, but bo. Okay? And then this one was the last one for the changeable long vowels, because why are they called changeable? Because sometimes they can turn into the others. For example, comets can become comets hatef, or sere can become actually segol. Holum can become holum vav, will be actually lengthened, or can become kibbutz. That's why they're called changeable, because you can actually change their length. If you add something to the front of the word, such as prefix, or if you add something to the end of the word, such as suffix, it virtually changes the accentuation of the word, right? So the way you accent the word and accent the syllabus will change the whole vowel pattern in the whole word. We'll shorten some vowels and lengthen the others to compensate for shortening. Okay? And it might sound nightmarish right now. It will sound. It will be a little
Sounds?
easier
It is.
later on.
I can't sleep tonight.
And let's learn the unchangeable long vowels. These are the longest sounds in the language.
Are they true unchangeables?
They're true unchangeables, and they're usually incorporating the consonants for a vowel distinction. They're called mater lecciones. I'll explain to you what it is. So, comments, hey. Comments, hey. It's a long ah sound, like in father. Father. Okay?
How is that different than
And
comment?
then father. Comments.
But one's father and one's
Quiet
father.
now! That's the whole difference.
One's father and one's faja.
It's like,
Okay. We'll come to it. Tsere yod. Tsere yod is what sound? A. A. That's always going to be a longer sound. A lot of students are missing that and they're trying to read it. Be. It's not two separate sounds. It's be.
Bay. Bay.
Next one is segol yod.
Segol yod.
Slightly shorter. Segol yod. It's bay. Bay and bay.
Bay.
Slightly shorter.
Bay.
Then there's a hirik yod. Hirik yod.
B.
Hirik yod. E.
B.
E sound. Like long E. E.
Is there a dot at the bottom?
Yes, there's a hirik right there at the bottom. Hirik yod. And let me erase these. I'll write the last two. Colon vav. This is the letter that incorporates another consonant for a vowel sound. Colon vav. But you're writing W-A-W. And then shurek. Shurek. This is a long O sound.
Oh.
This is a long U sound. If the kibbutz is a short U sound, shurek is a long U sound. Okay? Shurek. Alright? Any questions about vowel points? Read them, memorize them.
Oh, boy.
Yes.
On the kamate or the Tsere
Uh-huh.
would there ever be an instance where the letter immediately after one of those would be either a hey or a yod?
Up to which one?
After like kamate, it's the hey is part of the vowel, right? Would there ever be a time where the hey is
Sometimes
letter?
it would be called a furtive patha. You will see this. Let's say barach, which is to bless. But let's say if you'll see this, or usually it's written right here, between the two letters. In this case, you'll have to pronounce the vowel before the consonant. See, the general rule for Hebrew is you pronounce the consonant, vowel, consonant, vowel, consonant, vowel. When you have furtive pathak, and you can look it up in that little book, what it is, it will actually be reversed. You'll have to pronounce the pathak before you pronounce the following consonant. Okay?
Well, then what's the difference between the first pata and the second one?
This one would be written kind of between.
I mean, you have two there, so it says you're going to do two of those before the last consonant?
Yes.
So it's going to elongate the...
Well, usually it doesn't appear in the same sequence like pathak, pathak. Hebrew doesn't tolerate that. There might be a segol pathak,
Okay.
or some other vowel sound, or shava, which is another sound that in Hebrew is not considered to be a vowel. It's a very short In fact, in transliteration, you'll see it as this, as opposed to this. This is very short. Sometimes it's silent. Sometimes it's very fast pronouncing, like its name, Shava. You almost don't hear that. Shava. Shava. Okay, like Shema Israel. Or listen, O Israel. Shema Israel, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. That's Deuteronomy 6:4. Listen, O Israel, the God, your God is the one God. So So it's hardly pronounceable. It's a very short S sound, or sometimes it's silent. We'll learn the rules of Shabbat a little bit later on. Okay. Vowel letters, defective writing. You will see in some instances defective writing. For example, the name of David could appear as this. I'll just write it out. Appear as David, or it could appear as this. David. In this instance, this is the corrupt writing, or the way they choose to call it, defective writing. Because it drops out the consonant that's supposed to be there. It's supposed to be a longer Hirak yod. David is supposed to David. It appears probably about 500 something times out of 560 in this case, and the rest of them are defective. See, sometimes, since Masoretes work with manuscripts, not all the letters have been written of the same width. So maybe if it's at the end of the sentence, right on the edge of the page, they couldn't stick in the letter in there, so they just decided, oh, let's just shorten it, put the dot in the bottom, put the yod in the top, and get it over with. Because otherwise you'll have to rewrite the whole manuscript. And it's not like it's a one page, you just rewrite one page. This is a scroll. Could be a 100-yard scroll with one book. You just unroll to read another portion, unroll, and that's it. It's not easy to cut out and then put in something. It's not like an audio tape where you can put some sticky tape on it. It's all together again. Put it back in the player. So I think that completes our chapter, and there's a very interesting exegetical discussion on the chapter 2 and chapter 1. I would like you to read in your spare time at home. And there's a nice chart for the vowels as well on page 14. That chart will be on your midterm.
Which one?
On page 14, summary Hebrew vowel chart. That will be on your midterm, or might even appear on one of the quizzes as well. Might appear not on the next week's, but the week after the next one. Just to help you distinguish between the vowels, so you're not going to get confused in some ways. All right.
I'm already there.
Any questions? You can turn off the camera. Yes, for 3, syllabification and pronunciation. Here is where we gain some clarification on how the Hebrew syllables work. How do the letters combine with the vowel sounds, and how do we separate them into different syllables? And we have certain exercises also designed for you in the workbook to get yourself familiar with the Hebrew syllables, and also how to pronounce these letters when they appear in open or closed syllables and in certain other constructions. All right, so moving along. There are 2 rules of syllabification, and one of them proves me wrong as far as my comment earlier today. Every syllable must begin, well, actually it's not this one, it's one other. Every syllable must begin with one consonant and have only one vowel.